It's rare when I watch movies, but I'm like, man, I got Netflix. Bullet Train came out. I'll watch this. Hilarious. I'm not a movie guy really, but I like that movie. Now people will probably say they don't like it. They're like, nah, I don't like this movie. I guess I just have bad taste. Good sister. Kind of reminded me of a Quentin Tarantino where it's just like random chaos. Kind of like Hateful Eight where everybody's in there and everybody's a bad guy kind of just looking at each other. That's what it reminded me of. I enjoy Tales of the Jedi. Yeah, I can't wait for the Last of Us show. I'm even gonna get my mom into it. She doesn't know anything about the Last of Us. I'm like, man, you like The Walking Dead? This show, if they don't butcher it, if they actually do a good job, it will be better than The Walking Dead. I think it'll be way more interesting. Maybe the first seasons it will compete, but like the later seasons, I doubt. I was trying to catch up on The Walking Dead too. I've been watching so many videos on it. Like, so what's going on? It's kind of sad because like The Walking Dead, I'm like, I lost interest in that a long time ago, but I'm like, where the story's headed, I'm kind of excited, but it took this long to get here. Like, damn, I kind of want to see what's going on with the CRM and all that. That looked kind of fun, but it took so long for him to get there. And the road was so boring at times. It's like, oh, at least Negan's still around. I like Negan. Ah! Little limb. I know, right? Tax is already coming up. I just barely finished that tax problem. I gotta do it again. Like, no! Airplane anxiety. Man, I wasn't even worried about airplanes, but I came in on, I flew into Cebu on flight, I think it was 631. Korean Air flights 361. And, no problem. Like, one of the flights, we overshot the runway, I thought, and I was like, I think we're having to re-land, like, re-come in, so there was a problem. And then, come to find out, right after I land, that same exact plane on the same route from Korea to Cebu crashed going in on the landing because the airplane lights were out and they couldn't see it during the storm. And I'm like, that was the same shit that happened to me when we flew in. They couldn't see the lights probably, so we had to pull up and restart the landing procedure. And this time they didn't do it, and it was right after I had landed one of the next flights. I'm like, dude, that could have been me. I was like, I was on that plane looking at it as it was all like, nobody died in it, but like, so it wasn't that bad. Nobody died, but you know, the plane's fucked up though. But I'm like, oh shit, the same exact plane though. Not the same company, not the same style of plane, the same exact plane crash. I'm like, dude, that is in the same spot too. Same route, like literally I was just at that airport on the same plane. It was crazy. I was like, what the fuck? Even the other day we were driving by the airport. Because where we live, like the airport's kind of in the middle of everything, so you kind of got to go around it. And we went by and saw the flight sitting there where they were like salvaging what they could, moving it into repairs. I'm like, what the fuck? I was on that plane. It was kind of a surreal moment. Like, that could have been me, even though nobody died, so it's not that bad. I would have probably enjoyed it because I'm an evil person. I enjoy that type of shit. Like, this would have been kind of fun. If I knew I wasn't going to die, I'm down to go on a crashing plane. Like, if I'm not going to get crippled or burned or none of that shit, but just go on a bumpy ride, I'm down for that. That would have been fun to me. Have the story of surviving a plane crash, you know. It's not really even a plane crash. It's like a plane skidding. You know, like they didn't see, so they kind of overshot the runway. Is that really a crash? I don't know. I don't know if any flyboys in here know like the designation of that. Does that still qualify as a crash? I mean, Pedro Pascal, everything he's in seems to be good. So let's hope he works his magic. Even, I don't remember her name, the little girl from Game of Thrones that's going to be Ellie. Like, I liked her in Game of Thrones, so let's hope she repeats in The Last of Us. She's definitely going to be getting more screen time now, so. It's her big break, let's see. Witcher Blood Origin, what is that? I haven't heard of that. I watched the cartoon they had recently with, I'm drawing a blank on his name. What's his name? Oh, I'm going down. What is his name? Vesmir. I watched that one, so I'll probably watch this, but I don't know what's going to happen once, what's his face? Man, I am bad with names today. Henry Cavill's not going to be the Witcher. Once that happens, I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk back into that. They're going to have to work a miracle to keep me watching that, because that I don't like switching main characters like that in the middle of a show and just kind of like overlooking it, like, oh no, this is fine, this is normal. That's gonna be a hard one for me to come back after, but we'll see. Could you please stop shooting me, gunship, or whatever the fuck you are? A strip L? Oh, we're back here now. Okay, and I don't know what's going on, but I don't have stamina is what I do know. I choke you! Saber throw, I choose you! Problem is I don't have any health. One gunship, but I'm a gunner. I'll be honest, I've never seen Avatar the whole way through, so. I've seen bits and pieces when it's on TV, but I've never seen it like the whole way through. He's way up. I thought he was jumping down on me with a shotgun. No, he's just sniping me with a shotgun. Poor choice in weapons, so you probably have a better weapon without it being a shotgun, but whatever floats your boat. Getting sniped by I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know if it still or qualifies. This is a crash, especially since nobody died. If the plane had crashed and burned in the Pacific or something, I'd be like, oh shit, man, I'm lucky. But it's like those dudes on 9/11 who are like, I was supposed to be on that plane. Like, that gotta be terrifying. Like, you gotta know you got some luck in you. But I'd be nervous I ran out of luck. Like, dude, you dodged that plane? Oh my goodness. And like, I was kind of sick at the time too, where I was already like debating postponing the flight. But it would have caused too many complications, so I was like, no, I'm going to go. But I very well could have been on that plane if I had prolonged the flight just a little bit. I'm like, oh, that was close. But again, nobody died, so it wouldn't have been the end of the world. I would have enjoyed it. I was even looking where all the damage was. It basically just skid a little bit once the landing gear gave out. But, like, I would have been more worried if I was near the engines, because that's probably where the gas is going to go up. I would imagine. I'm not an airplane expert. But I would have been alright. Got to go down the slide afterward, like, whee! You know, look at the bright side. But it was just weird because after they said what the problem was, it was like the pilot couldn't see the landing lights. Because, one, the landing lights weren't, this airport is going to be in trouble because they didn't, they weren't upkeeping them properly. The lights weren't working. And then factor a storm in on top of that, so they couldn't really see anything. It was a double whammy, and I was like, I really think that's why they had to do the turnaround on my flight, where I'm like, we came into the runway and all of a sudden we pulled up and then came back in later for another landing. I think that's why, because it was the same place. He probably couldn't see the lights, but in this case he pulled up and kind of went in for a redo, where this pilot was like, nah, we're going in now, and it just happened to, he missed the runway or whatever it was. But from what I understand, it's not even the pilot's fault. That, like, he didn't have the runway lights he had to land. So I don't know if it was because they're almost out of fuel. I think I remember hearing that the pilot had dumped the fuel before, so he kind of knew he was going to go into a shitty, risky landing. So he's like, let's get rid of the fuel. So from that standpoint, the pilot did the right thing, because he's like, this is going to get rough, man. Let's see. Let's dump this fuel. So luckily it's right by the ocean too, so he just dumped it in there. But I don't know. I'm only speculating if my flight was, what do you call it? Had to come in for a second landing for that reason. I don't know. It makes sense, though. It's the same exact runway. Basically same everything, if I understand correctly. So I'm like, it's probably why he was like, you know what? Let's come in for another landing attempt before we come in. Because I noticed it, too, when I was on the plane. I'm like, oh, are we coming in for landing? And I was like, wait, we're pulling up again? Like, what is this? Like, it was an aborted landing. I'm like, I've seen this in, like, war movies, or, like, when planes are landing on a carrier, where they're like, oh, shit, I'm too late. Pull up, and gotta do it again. I'm like, and I just noticed this on a flight, but it was on my first flight, so I've never really, I don't really know too much. It's like, maybe they do this all the time, you know, like a practice run? I don't know. But I'm like, no, I don't think it was a practice run, because none of my other flights did that. They just went straight in, so I'm like, oh, he probably couldn't see the lights. Move heavy. Yeah, that's I don't know. I've never watched Avatar. I'm sure I'd like it, but I just never got into it. I've been watching a lot of videos on like whether it's movies or something. Like I watch a lot of React channels, so I actually watch a lot of movies through them because I'm like usually they leave the good parts in. I don't need to watch the whole thing, especially if it's a movie I don't think I'm gonna like. But then I watched well, since my internet was out and couldn't stream my what was the movie? It was a World War I movie. All Quiet on the Western Front or whatever Eastern Front. I forgot what it was. One of the fronts. I liked that movie. It was alright. The only thing that annoyed me with that motherfucking movie was so many times they would fire a gun and there's absolutely no recoil. Like, dude, pretend, bro, pretend. But other than that, it was a pretty good story. But it just annoyed me. It was like, dude, this dude is firing and there is no recoil, bro. Like, come on. Pretend there's some recoil, motherfucker. Pretend, man. Pretend. Role play some recoil. Boss is here, and so's the clone commander. I still haven't seen 1917 or whatever it's called. I'll have to get to that at some point, probably. I'm even watching Wednesday, but that's just because I have a crush on what's her face. Like, damn, dude, stare at me like that. I haven't seen the movie X, but I've seen the scenes. High five, high five. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I didn't mean to choke this guy, but I was thinking of Jenna. We already got the other one? Yes, we do. We got teammates. I'm over here talking. I don't even know what's going on. Oh, I thought Luke was going to go for these guys. Or whoever that was. Ray, Luke, somebody with a blue lightsaber. Konnichiwa. I like how every time there's a Japanese movie, you got that one actor, though. He played the father in Bullet Train. That dude is everywhere. He's a great actor, but I'm like, of course he's in it. The moment I saw him, I'm like, of course he's in it. Why not? Anytime there's a movie in Japan, he's going to be there. What's that guy's name? I know somebody's mentioned it before, but I'm horrible with names, so. Oh, I pulled too much to the left. You got lucky, my son. Because I still love you. You remind me of your mother. Luckily, my dick's burned off, or I kind of have a hard on for you right now. I went down the rabbit hole, though, recently, since I was so bored with not being able to stream. I started watching, I forgot the name of the channel, so I can't even shout them out. But they been reacting to Steven Seagal movies, and holy Jesus, I knew Steven Seagal was shit. But fucking hell, that dude is like an abysmal joke of a human being. But oh my god, dude, those movies are so shit. It's fun watching them because they're so shit. I think I really wonder if Steven Seagal is completely fucking dumb and believes he's the shit, or if he's just playing a character and playing that role, even in real life. Like he's just kind of, he knows that's the one way to make money, so he keeps playing that role to keep doing it. But I'm like, oh my god, some of those movies are so blatantly bad. Like what was it? It was one with Mike Tyson and him in China. It was like blatant Chinese propaganda throughout the whole fucking movie. It was like, what the fuck is this? It was so hilarious to watch, bro. Like, this is like obviously state-made Chinese propaganda. Like, it was like, what the fuck is this? Oh my god. Then he's over there sucking Putin's cock. Like, these are definitely not high, or these are definitely HIMARS rockets. Totally. Like, bro, you don't know shit, Steven Seagal. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Oh my god. Side note, I don't like Steven Seagal, but I haven't seen the Avatar movie, so I don't really know anything. I like the Marines or whatever they were called in there. I remember seeing them. I'm like, oh, they look cool. I like sci-fi military battles and shit. We have 25 kills and we're at the very end of the game. What the hell's going on? Have I just been talking the whole time? I don't even know what's going on. National Treasure show with no Nick Cage? Yeah, I probably won't watch that. I love National Treasure. Love those movies. I didn't even know there was a show, though. I mean, even now, like, he's sitting down in most of the scenes in the movie.